Welcome, bienvenidos, benvindo, to the Soccermetrics Copa Libertadores show, part of the SDH network, the only English-language show devoted to South America's premier club competition. I'm your host, Howard Hamilton, the founder of Soccermetrics. We are halfway through this season's group stage. A few clubs have already confirmed that they will play in the continental competitions for the rest of the year. A few others are really up against it and have no margin for error. For the rest, there is still everything to play for. In this episode, a recap of Match Day 3 of the Copa Libertadores. And we start this episode, as always, with the classified results. In Group A, Estudiantes de La Plata 1, Flamengo 1. Independiente Medellin 1, Cusco 0. Group B, Universitario 4, Nacional 2. Deportes Tolima 3, Coquimbo Unido 0. Group C, Bolivar 2, Fluminense 0. Independiente Rivadavia 4, Deportivo La Guaira 1. Group D, Cruzeiro 1, Boca Juniors 0. Barcelona 1, Universidad Católica 2. Group E, Corinthians 2, Peñarol 0. Platense 2, Santa Fe 1. Group F, Sporting Cristal 2, Junior 0. Cerro Porteño 1, Palmeiras 1. Group G, Mirassol 2, Always Ready 0. Lanús 1, Liga de Quito 0. Group H, Libertad 2, Independiente del Valle 3, Universidad Central 0, Rosario Central 3. So in summary, there were 43 goals scored, 29 by the home team, 14 by the away team, resulting in 11 home wins, 2 draws, and 3 away wins. That's it for Part 1. In Part 2, the featured matches of Match Day 3. Part 2 of the Soccermetrics Copa Libertadores show, part of the SDH network. So now that you know the scores, let's go deep into the 3 featured matches of the week. And we start in Mendoza for the Group C encounter between Independiente Rivadavia versus Venezuela's Deportivo La Guaira. Rivadavia lined up in the 4-2-3-1 formation. Nicolas Bolcato in goal, Luciano Gomez, Chico Studer, Ivan Villalba, and Ezequiel Bonifacio in defense, Jose Florentin and Tomas Botari as offensive midfielders, Sebastian Villa, Fabricio Sartori, Matias Fernandez as the midfielders, and Alex Arce up front. Deportivo La Guaira lined up in the 4-1-4-1 formation. Christopher Varela in goal, Jorge Gutierrez, Diego Ocio, Guillermo Ortiz, Luis Peña in defense, Romeo Ibarra as defensive midfield, Jose Mesa, Juan Perdomo, Jose Correa, Franco Cáceres in midfield, and Fabian Londoño up front. Independiente Rivadavia may be newcomers to the competition, but they play like a side with nothing to lose. And a team that plays without fear is a dangerous one indeed. So they demonstrated against a Deportivo La Guaira side who, by the standards of Venezuelan clubs in Libertadores, have been more competitive. It took almost half an hour for La Lepra to open the scoring. La Guaira couldn't clear the lines after a corner, and Matias Fernandez supplied a cross from the right flank that Alex Arce met between 2 center backs to head past Christopher Varela. La Guaira, as I mentioned, showed competitive spirit and equalized within 5 minutes when a cross by Cáceres bounced between defensive and midfield lines and found its way to Guillermo Ortiz, who vaulted the ball into the top half of the net. Independiente Rivadavia would break the match open just before halftime. Sebastian Villa was pushed in the penalty area, he sold it with a theatrical tumble, and the referee awarded his efforts with a penalty kick. Villa dusted himself off and converted a spot kick, paying homage to his unborn son in the goal celebration. Right off the ensuing kickoff, Villa caught La Guaira's left back in possession, advanced down the wing, and fired in the cross that Arce tapped in for his second and La Lepra's third. In the second half, Arce would complete the first hat trick of this group stage. Once again, Villa was the instigator, sending the ball into the area that Florentine headed over to him, which he finished from the area's edge. A comprehensive win for Independiente Rivadavia, who remained perfect in the group stage. La Lepra are now the fourth team in the competition's history and the third Argentine side to win their first three initial matches in the Copa Libertadores. The last two were River Plate in 1996 and Estudiantes de La Plata in 1968. Estudiantes would win 4 matches in a row on their way to winning the title. Alfredo Berti, manager of Independiente Rivadavia, said that there's no limit to his team's ambitions. It's a statement of intent and a warning to the rest of South America. Next stop is Asunción for the Group F encounter between Cerro Porteño and Palmeiras. Cerro Porteño came out in a 5-3-2 formation. Alexis Martin Arias in goal, Marcelo Chaparro, Matias Perez, Gustavo Velasquez, Lucas Quintana, Rodrigo Gomez in defense, Viola Vieira, Jorge Morel, Fabricio Dominguez in midfield, Pablo Vecchetti, and Jonathan Torres up front. Palmeiras lined up in a 4-2-2-2 formation. Carlos Miguel in goal, Artur Gabriel, Murillo, Gustavo Gomez, Agustin Gi in defense, Andres Pereira and Marlon Freitas as defensive midfielders, John Arias and Allen as forward midfielders, and Ramon Sosa and Jose Lopez up front. These two teams share a long history in the Libertadores, with stories of bad blood and controversial incidents over the years. This encounter was as spicy as a bell pepper, though. Despite being the home side, Cerro Porteño opted to sit back and absorb pressure. Palmeiras responded by setting up camp in the opposing half and applying constant pressure. They should have taken the lead within the first half hour when Allen, inside the goal area, fired the ball just over the crossbar. Allen would do the next best thing 5 minutes later, combining with Marlon Freitas, whose lofted ball sent Allen into the area, and then firing across for John Arias to slide home. Cerro Porteño were a little more enterprising in the second half, and I mean a little. A couple of shots found their way harmlessly to Palmeiras keeper Carlos Miguel. But from the one-half chance that they were able to generate, they scored. Cerro, in possession, circulated the ball outside the penalty area, and Juan Iturbe fired a fierce shot that hit the post, hit Miguel in the back of the head, and rolled into the goal. A lucky goal, but one created by their efforts. From there, Cerro were content to defend for a point, and Palmeiras were the only side interested in gaining something more. They almost snatched all 3 points right at the end when Murillo's header off a free kick was blocked away by Alexis Arias. Shared points weren't the just outcome from this match. Palmeiras showed a lot more and deserved a lot more. But Cerro won't apologize for the way they approached it. A point against the top seed is a great result every time. And finally, we go to the southern suburbs of Buenos Aires for the Group G match between Lanús and Liga de Quito. Lanús came out in a 4-2-3-1 formation, with Nahuel Lozada in goal, Sasa Marcic, Jose Canale, Carlos Izquierdos, and Thomas Guidara in defense, Agustin Medina and Felipe Biafore as defensive midfielders, Lucas Besosi, Marcelino Moreno, and Eduardo Salvio as midfielders, and Carrera up front. Liga de Quito lined up in a 3-4-3 formation. Gonzalo Valle, as goalkeeper, Leonel Quiñones, Luis Segovia, Gianfranco Ayala as defenders, Yerlin Quiñones, Jesus Pretel, Gabriel Villamil, and Jose Quintero as the midfielders, and Rodney Redes, Daverson, and Jason Medina up front. Lanús entered this match eager to win against a Liga side that had come into this encounter with a perfect record. The Clarets dominated proceedings in the first half, but the chances were scant. The one chance that did occur was a significant one, Moreno's long-range effort rallying the crossbar. In the second half, both teams were a little more enterprising, but not much so. It was clear that the only goal would come from a set piece, and it duly came with a quarter of an hour to play when Moreno's corner was volleyed home by Cardoso at the back post. Lanús finished the winners in a tepid Libertadores encounter. So those are the three featured matches from this week's Libertadores play. That's it for part 2. In part 3, the rest of match day 2. Part 3 of the Soccermetrics Copa Libertadores show, part of the SDH network. And now, the rest of the match day. Starting in Group A, where Estudiantes and Flamengo deadlocked in La Plata, Luis Araujo gave Flamengo the lead in the 33rd minute before Guido Carrillo equalized for Estudiantes in the 55th minute. In Medellin, Independiente defeated Cusco 1-0 for their first win of the group stage, Pietraszewski scoring the deciding goal 3 minutes from the end. An incredible result occurred in Group B, where Universitario defeated Nacional 4-2. How rare was this outcome for the local side? It was the first time that Universitario scored 4 goals in a Libertadores match since February 19, 1993. What's more impressive is that Universitario came from behind after Camilo Candido was taken down in the box. Maximiliano Gomez converted the penalty for Nacional before a Lucas Rodriguez red card turned the game around for Universitario. 4 different goal scorers contributed for the Cremas. In Colombia, Deportivo Tolima defeated Coquimbo Unido 3-0. 3 different goal scorers scored for the home side in a comfortable win. It was the first time they've scored 3 goals since 2022. In Group C, Bolivar defeated Fluminense 2-0, an important victory for the home side at altitude. Robson Mateus scoring the brace. Facundo Bernal was shown his second yellow card on the 48th minute for Fluminense. Cruzeiro defeated Boca Juniors 1-0 in Group D. This was a labored win over Boca's side that was clearly parking the bus. They slashed the tires after Adam Barrero was sent off just before halftime. A Neisser Villarreal goal with 7 minutes left settled the points for the home side. How much did Boca park the bus? They did attempt a single shot on goal. In Guayaquil, Barcelona went down again 2-1 at home to Universidad Católica. It's Católica's second away win of the group stage. Sampedri and Montes, the key contributors for the Chilean side. Use led midway throughout the first half. Celis pulled one back, but Barcelona were wasteful in possession, and the end result was a second home loss for the Guayaquil side. In Group E, Corinthians remained perfect, defeating Peñarol 2-0. Peñarol were short-handed through the season-ending injury to Leo Fernandez, their talisman in midfield. Due to his ACL injury, they were outpassed 171 touches to 620, and they were outpossessed by more than a 3-1 margin. Goals by Gustavo Enrique and Jesse Lingard made the difference for the Sao Paulo side. The other match in Group E saw Platense defeat Santa Fe 2-1. Andres Mosquera resisted for Santa Fe with 3 saves in the first half before Platense broke the match open in the second half with goals by Tomas Nassif and Mateo Mendia. In Group F, Sporting Cristal defeated Junior 2-0. Cristal staying in the race for advancing out of the group stage. They separated from Junior after a tight first half that saw Hermin Peña of Junior receive a straight red card. Cristal pressed the advantage and broke through with goals by Santiago Gonzalez and Catriel Ceballos. In Group G, Mirasol defeated Always Ready 2-0. Mirasol weathered a red card, rode the performance of their goalkeeper Walter to score an important win. Eduardo opened scoring on 10 minutes. João Victor saw a red card in the 75th minute for Mirasol, and despite their one-man disadvantage, Allison scored the second goal 5 minutes later. In Group H, Libertad fell 3-2 at home to Independiente del Valle, a Carlos Gonzalez hat-trick offsetting a brace by Lorenzo Melgarejo. It's the second home defeat for Libertad in the group stage. And finally, Universidad Central fell 3-0 at home to Rosario Central, in a comfortable win for the Argentine visitors. Ignacio Alvanda opened for the away side before an Angel Di Maria penalty and an Enzo Capetti clincher settled all 3 points for the visitors. So this is where things stand after match day 3. In Group A, Flamengo lead the group on 7 points, followed by Estudiantes on 5, Independiente Medellin on 4, and Cusco bring up the rear with 0 points. Group B comes down to goal difference and head-to-head encounters. Tolima have 1 point bringing up the rear, but Tolima actually have 4 points with a +1 goal difference. Nacional have 4 points, 0 goal difference, 6 goals scored. Universitario and Coquimbo Unido also have 4 points. Universitario with 0 goal difference, 4 goals scored. Coquimbo Unido with a -1 goal difference. In Group C, Independiente Rivadavia have a perfect record, 9 points from 3 matches, followed by Bolivar on 4, Deportivo La Guaira on 2, and surprisingly Fluminense on 1 point. In Group D, Universidad Católica have 6 points, along with Boca Juniors and Cruzeiro. Here, head-to-head goals scored make the difference. Universidad Católica have 3 goals scored over head-to-head encounters against Boca Juniors and Cruzeiro. Boca Juniors have 2 goals scored and a +3 goal difference overall, while Cruzeiro have 2 goals scored over all head-to-head encounters and a +1 goal difference. Barcelona is bringing up the rear on 0 points. In Group E, Corinthians have 9 points, Platense 6, Santa Fe 1, and Peñarol 1. Santa Fe have the edge because they have yet to receive a red card, while Peñarol received 1 red card in their most recent match. In Group F, Sporting Cristal lead the group on 6 points, followed by Palmeiras on 5, Cerro Porteño on 4, Junior with 1 point. In Group G, 3 teams are tied at the top. Liga de Quito, Lanús, and Mirasol all have 6 points. Liga lead the group on a +1 head-to-head goal difference. Lanús are second on a 0 head-to-head goal difference, while Mirasol have a -1 head-to-head goal difference. Always Ready bring up the rear on 0 points. And in Group H, Rosario Central have 7 points, along with Independiente del Valle. Rosario Central have the lead on +4 goal difference, in the IDV having a +3 goal difference. UCV have 3 points, Libertad have none. So, by virtue of these results, Independiente Rivadavia and Corinthians are confirmed to play South American competitions for the remainder of 2026. Will it be Copa Sudamericana or the latter stages of the Libertadores remain to be seen. So the big stories from match day 3 are home team dominance, 11 home wins in this match day of the Libertadores, a deadlock in Group B, all 4 teams having 4 points, hat tricks by Carlos Gonzalez and Alex Arce, and the surprise outfit of this competition, Independiente Rivadavia. Perfect on 9 points from 3 matches. A team that is really going to ring the alarm bells, not throughout Argentina, but also throughout all of South America. Watch this space to see what happens next to this side and to the rest of the competition. You can find XG maps, flowcharts, and passing network maps for every Libertadores match on my X feed at Soccermetrics. I'm still backfilling all the preliminary round matches. Match data is supplied by Data Factory Latin America. If you have a comment or question about this podcast or about the Libertadores, send them to my X handle at Soccermetrics. You can also send questions or comments to @SoccerDownHere or to Jason Longshoe. This show is also distributed on YouTube and Facebook, and you can follow the conversations there. I'll be back next time to preview match day 4 of the group stage. This has been the Soccermetrics Copa Libertadores show, proudly part of the SDH network. See you later. Hasta luego. Até mais.